Well, I hope everybody is having a great weekend. I know I am here, and what I have to say is that ADA right now is doing some great things. We finished yesterday up about 1.75%. We're up about 2.5% today to begin the day. And what I have to say is that we're doing something right now that we last did on November 9th. This is very noticeable. It's obviously noticeable. It's notable. And the last time, this is what led ADA to do this breakout to $1.32. At that point, we were about 40 cents. And now, does that mean ADA can in fact run well above $2? We're going to talk about all that and more in this video. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So this is kind of like what we were talking about. ADA doesn't like to live in these ranges. Luckily, we did a really good job of staying away from 78 cents. And what you're seeing is just a lot of retail confidence throughout the space. You have to remember, weekends, no institutional money, enterprises aren't doing anything. So it's all up to retail. Do they have the confidence to make things pump, or are they getting a little squirrely and making things drop? Right now, they're obviously very confident. I'm checking this every single day now. Exchange app downloads still high. Crypto.com fell out of the top 200, but both Binance, both Coinbase and Robinhood are in the top 200, and that's a great sign. And why I'm saying that retail confidence is high is look at what BTC is doing. Nothing. But yet, alts are pumping. Look at BTC dominance, cratering every single day. So what you're actually seeing is one, capital re-entering the market from the sidelines, but two, retail having enough confidence in the crypto market to leave that in assets rather than reverting back to stable coins. Okay. So this is a very good sign. It's good to see ADA's doing this. Volume-wise, we basically hit the exact range I was talking about, $140 billion in daily trading volume over the last 24 hours. And we can still see ADA's well above $1 billion in daily trading volume itself. So this is a great sign for what comes next. Now, what I will say is that there are still a lot of large entities that are entering the space. For example, there's an ETH whale that just bought $50 million worth of ETH. And frankly, if we look at ETH, this is exactly what phase 2 looks like, where ETH is outpacing BTC in a huge way. Just look at almost every single day for the last 2 weeks for Ethereum has in fact been green. It's been buy. And now we're seeing it really target that $4,000 range. And if it can in fact breach that, that's probably where things are going to get pretty lively in the crypto market. All right. Now, something I did want to talk about in terms of ADA is, yeah, we're in a fun spot. We obviously need to make an extension here. But what we're actually seeing right now is 2 attempted breakouts. Okay. You can see this actually a 200-day moving average finally being breached here on the ADA BTC chart. Okay. The last time this happened, we obviously had a pump, back here in March. That was fun. But really, when we look back to November, this finally took place on November 9th. Now, at the time, ADA was about 45 cents or so. We'll call it 40 cents. And we obviously know that following that, that is when ADA went on this very sizable run all the way up to $1.32. Now just keep that in mind. Now also, when we're looking at the ADA dominance chart, what are we about to do? Breach that 200-day moving average. Guess when the last time this breach took place was? In a sizable way, extended way. November 9th. All right, we'll be starting to put things together here. So right now, the market is showing us that ADA wants to do basically what it did in November. And that's just a question of, can it sustain? Can we trigger some retail adoption at that time? Is some of this USDT, some of this capital that's parked in stables, is going to flow back into ADA? Well, if we remember, like we talked about just a couple of days ago, when the market is popping and exciting, ADA tends to outperform. And it's been doing exactly that on this rally to the upside. It's been doing a very good job of outpacing the total 3. So right now, we may be on the verge of this next sizable ADA run. And if we remember, what we're targeting is all the way up around like $1.90 or so. Okay. That is where ADA, historically speaking, would be following exactly what it did last market cycle. If you guys remember, we had the third tap is finally when we had our breach, right? I hate to keep going back to this chart, but I just want to remind people, especially for people that are new, this is exactly what we did on our third tap. That's where we got our extension. Well, what are we doing right here, right? We had our first tap, which is back here in the early 2024. Second tap here was November. And now ADA is trying to make this rally up, tap, and extension. Okay. Now, obviously, it doesn't have to work out exactly like that. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen today, tomorrow, next week, next month. but that is what ADA is trying to do right now. And that is where things can get pretty darn exciting in the charts. That's where finally I think retail has the confidence to move the market in a much bigger way. I definitely had some questions yesterday when we talked about our ADA all-time high video. How high can ADA get in this market cycle? This is the exact move that leads us to a new all-time high. It's the exact move that can lead us towards that, $7 to $15 price point in terms of ADA. And I'm not saying it's a straight line. Yes, there will probably be profit taking and retracements along the way. And I want to remind everybody that a lot of these moves, they happen very quickly because there is such thin liquidity up in those ranges. We're talking about a total 3 push to somewhere in probably the $5 trillion range, somewhere up there, 5.5, 6 trillion, somewhere in that range. This is a very extended move. Total 2 is looking good at about $1.5 trillion here as well. Total is still on this nice sizable breakout. Everything throughout the market is looking really good and setting us up for, again, some much bigger moves. So now the question is, are we going to do the same thing? Are we going to see ADA basically double what it did back in November? So that's all we got to wait for. We're looking great throughout the space. I would expect that all this confidence in the market and all this capital ran to the market is going to trigger some adoption. Okay. So just pay attention to that. But I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.